Road bridges have to be built on straight reaches of water to avoid being exposed to the buildup of current forces on bends. They're our usual starting point on a stream and often have stable long runs running below them. The shallow side of that run has less depth and therefore less available habitat and structure. There's less current but almost no overhead or escape cover available, so trout usually only use this water in low light conditions of dark, cloudy days, or dusk to dawn, or if there's such a heavy hatch that it's worth exposing themselves in order to have a good meal. The trout holding water is found on the opposite bank, where we find interesting fish habitat features. The first feature is that there's sufficient depth. Trout look for thigh depth in prime lies. It doesn't have to be anything more than a longer trough of thigh-deep water, just depth that they can swim to in case they feel threatened. They also need overhead cover. In this case, there are roots from shoreline trees as well as a branch of the tree immediately at the water's surface. The subtle, important overhead cover comes from the deflections of current. Those deflections break the water's surface, and that broken surface makes it difficult for predators to see into the water, thus offering trout psychological comfort from predation. Those shoreline deflections are also important because trout need some form of current break. In this case, the limbs and roots of trees, as well as shoreline rock, jut out into the current, breaking the flow. The current deflections are all downstream angled and not hard stops to the current, so there is no upstream pillow of water for trout to hold. In this run, trout are almost certain to be downstream of the deflection on the calmer shoreline side of the seam, where they enjoy overhead cover, respite from the current as to not expend energy, and simply wait for food to drift in the current to them. And when the water is low and clear, as it often is, late summer through fall, you can often spot trout in these locations from the bridge.